let's talk about the EV pickup. What's it look like for you right now? You've just sort of really gotten into a higher gear in terms of the vehicles that consumers can get hold of. How much do you expect to sell in terms of your EV mix, say, in the next year or the next 2 years?
We have received tremendously positive feedback from Mercedes customers around the world, Mercedes fans around the world for our newest EVs. In fact, we just can't make enough. We launched last year 4 all-electric cars with the EQS flagship as being kind of the highlight of the year. And now we're following that up with 2 SUVs that we're going to build here in the US. And our factory here is flexible, so we can flex between conventional powertrain, plug-in hybrids, and electric drive. And I think that we're going to see over the next 2 to 3 years, the electric share of that production just go up and up.
Are customers grabbing the 100% battery electric vehicles, or are they opting for the plug-in hybrids, to keep a little safety in terms of range?
At the moment, it's all of the above, but we can see a strong pivot towards all-electric vehicles, and especially these luxury EVs, sedans, and SUVs that we're now putting into the market. When we show them, when we sneak preview them to our dealers first, they said, wow, when can we get this vehicle? So I think, and I predict a pretty rapid rise in all-electric production from this site and from our other plants around the world.
What are raw materials costs looking like right now? I expect that they have soared, and how do you deal with that?
We could see in the fall of last year that commodity prices went up, and with the geopolitical instability that we're experiencing at the moment, of course, there is pressure on commodities, so we'll have some headwinds on that. But at the same time, we have the best product lineup, the best mix that we have ever had in the company history. We have doubled down on efficiency. We keep and run a tight ship on our fixed cost. So we try to counterbalance that with efficiency efforts on our end, but it's something that we have to watch.
Are you able to pass on most of that to consumers in this price environment?
As I like to say with a Mercedes, you pay a little bit more, but you get more. So our pricing is strong, but the product substance is unbelievable. So yes, we have had strong pricing in the market over the last 12 to 18 months.
How about your supply chain right now? Obviously, the geopolitical situation, Russia's war in Ukraine, has thrown a wrench into the works for a lot of automobile producers. Is that, a short-term hit that you're able to work around, or are there problems with Ukrainian deliveries that you need?
Over the last couple of years, we have been thrown a few curveballs with COVID and then the semiconductor shortages, and now the war in Ukraine. Whereas we don't have direct operations in Ukraine for Mercedes, we have several suppliers that work out of Ukraine, and we're now working with them to minimize any impacts that we have on our production schedule. We have a very, very flexible production, so we're kind of working around it and really in a day-to-day mode, making sure that the impact on us is as small as possible.
I wonder about your, EV quest, and we've seen a lot of other car makers choose various strategies to try and help really laser focus on EVs, ramp up their production, raise funding. You split your Mercedes and Daimler Trucks division. Is there anything else you're looking at to try and beef up your EV production?
We're very, very focused on Mercedes brand promise, which is tech meets luxury. And tech meets luxury in the future means zero emissions. So we are fully committed to a full-scale transformation into electric drive. In fact, we made the decision last year that all new architectures of Mercedes from the year 2025 forward will be EV only. So here on all fronts, we are converting our plants. We're building new battery plants. We're working with partners. We announced today that we're going to put a cell plant into United States. So in Europe, in North America, in Asia, in China, we're on a very fast track to turn over a whole industrial footprint towards EV and, if possible, get to an all EV sales where market conditions allow already by the end of this decade.
In terms of funding, you know, Volkswagen finally selling Porsche to try and unlock that value. Do you think you could unlock some value with your AMG unit in the same way?
AMG is the performance dimension of Mercedes. It's so fully integrated into the overall organization, so I can't see us taking that outside the company. But this symbiosis between everything that Mercedes stands for and that edge of performance that AMG is famous for gives us a growth opportunity. So there's more to come from AMG, also especially in the EV space. So just watch this space develop.
Definitely watching it, Ola. Let me finally ask you about the chip shortage. You mentioned it. How close are we to an end in terms of the chip shortage? How close are we to a smoother running production with microchips?
We can see all major chip manufacturers upping their investment, and that will bear fruit. I predict that in 2022, constraints on the semiconductor side will still be there. And I'm hopeful that the second half of this year that we will see a little bit better supply situation. But we're working with our partners here around the world to improve this and then take another step into more of something that looks like normalcy, hopefully in 2023.